Hello, and hello, ladies and gentlemen across the world. It's great to see you all. This is Edward Z of Michelle Peel today. How you doing, Michelle Peel? What's going on?
I'm doing great, Ed. I'm doing great. What a great topic we've got today. I'm very excited about this one.
I know, because I was just going to say, I've already been tested on my resilience and leadership because I use this program called StreamYard to do the live streams, and the software isn't working correctly, and the backgrounds aren't working, and I can't use my beautiful face filters. So there you go. So I've already had my resilience tested. And you know what it taught me, amazing Michelle Peel?
What's that?
The show must go on. And that's what I love about you, Michelle. You're very much a show must go on sort of lady. And I thought I was just diving right now. I just want to say to our friends across the world, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook or LinkedIn, please like, share, comment, say hello. We're a panel, and sometimes it's a panel of 10, sometimes it's a panel of 1. Today it's a panel of 2. Now, Michelle Peel is one of our great friends from Gold Coast. She's an amazing businesswoman, owns multiple businesses, and she knows all about resilience and leadership. And I thought I've got a whole list of talking points, but I'm just going to throw them out of the window because I want to hear what you think from a woman's viewpoint. You're obviously a woman. Tell us all about resilience and leadership and what it means to you.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's a pretty broad spectrum for me.
Yeah.
It's not just business. I think it's
Yeah.
parenting. I think it's being a daughter, being a mum. It's a lot of areas. I mean, as a woman, and I'm sure there's a lot of women out there, they wear a lot of different hats, as I do,
Yeah.
and that resilience has to come across all of that, So, and the leadership too, because I find in my family, they all look for me to do or create the solution, you could say. What are we going to do next? How are we going to go about it? And I'm the instigator, so it's really tricky. Really tricky.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's funny you say that because that's actually the key talking point. So when I was doing my research on this topic and sort of working out the angle for this, you know what, the number one thing came up in all the research I did from multiple angles was this viewpoint that women have to do it all. And this is, to me, the big thing. So, women have to be, CEOs. They have to have massive families. They have to be physically fit. They have to, as you just said, they have to be the center of it all. And to me, this is one of the biggest challenges for women, because I think women get a lot more expectations than men thrown on them. And I'm the first guy to admit that. What do you think of that viewpoint?
I totally agree. I don't know what it is. Is it that I find myself to be a lot calmer, and I can multitask, so I can think of a lot of things at once. Is that what it is? I don't know, but I really agree with you. Women seem to be the ones that have to, or don't have to, but choose to be the strong part of the family, the glue that keeps it all together. You could say that, that resilience. Yeah.
And you have to be good at everything. There's this, that old expression, women can have it all. It's a big expression that's pushed through culture.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you sort of unpack that, and women have to have it all. You have to work out 3 hours a day at the gym. You have to run. You have to have successful careers. You have to have 5 kids or 2 kids or whatever that are perfectly attuned. And I think this is part of the problem. I'm actually here to blame society today, which I've done many times before. Now, I want to ask you, Michelle, what's a recent challenge you've had or you've seen a woman go through that's really tested resilience and leadership?
Wow. If I could go back a bit, when I was in my 40s, I really tested my resilience in that, I actually did 3 half marathons.
Wow.
I tested myself.
I did not know that about you. I could see you doing that. I could see you doing a marathon.
Yeah. I'd had my children and I was running a very successful business and had moved to Queensland, did all of these things, but I lost me, and I found I needed to find me and my resilience and understand me. Okay, so I took on mini triathlons and did all of those, did that, and actually did the half marathon 3 years in a row. I walked it the first year, I ran it the second year, and I ran it the third year. So that was my journey on resilience. And you know what? It's really set me up to just keep going and have that strength and know that I've got that strength and that ability to take charge. from other women. You know, I see people, you know, have illnesses and choose direction with that illness. Some choose treatment, some choose to just have a life and live it out. You know, I love that about the human beings out there. You know, I'm going through that with my mum at the moment. She's got chronic kidney disease and she's chosen not to do dialysis, and I love that about her. You know, I love that she's taken charge of her journey, her body. And, you know, there's so many people out there that I know that have had these adversities and have the strength, have the resilience. You know, everyone has a story. And I don't think, you know, I think it's not talked about enough, resilience and leaders, you know, what we're talking about today. People probably just take it all for granted a little bit, I think.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that. It's actually one of my talking points as well. And so just as a intermission, friends, thank you for joining us. Like, share, comment, say hello. Good to see you, Lisa. It's funny, I did a lot of research on this topic, and I deliberately didn't tell Michelle the talking points, but Michelle's automatically hitting all the talking points. So
there you go.
Automatically hitting all the talking points. And that actually brings us to another talking point, which I've got right here, is that a lot of the whole resilience thing is very superficial. You know, it's complete. It's just like, you know, hi. And again, I think it's quite demeaning how they treat women in this regard. It's coming from a dude too, obviously, is that you can have it all. You just have to be positive. You just have to tough it out. You just have to be strong. It's like, it's all these corporate slogans. It's like all these superficial slogans saying to women they can have it all, just be strong, just tough it out. I mean, not that we're like this, but, you know, some they get more gendered, saying you're better than men and all that, but we're not here to go down that path. That's just completely stupid chatter. But the point I'm making is that I think a lot of the talk about women's empowerment and resilience is all very superficial, and it doesn't actually address any problems. And what's your reaction to that?
Wow. It doesn't address any problems. Yeah,
no, it's superficial. It's good slogans. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. It's good on an Instagram video, but there's no actual substance to it that's actually helping people.
No, I think, you know, I come from a generation, the Gen X, I think I am.
Yeah, me too.
We've been taught to just to get on with it.
Yep.
Shape up or ship out. You'll be right.
Yep.
You know, that's been the attitude, and I think that's why people today, people in our generation are really of that mindset where you just get on with it, sort it out, find a solution, move on to next, you know. Whereas my children, I see my children, and they are so much more structured in their bandwidth and what they can do and can't do, and have boundaries. We were never taught boundaries like that. No. There just wasn't anything out there, you know, so we just do. And I think that's probably why that there's not a lot of solutions or, you know, results, or, you know, with those slogans that you sort of said, you know, people just get on with it and just do it, you know. Am I sort of making sense?
You are, because boundaries is one of my talking points as well. And one of the biggest things about, resilience and leadership is weak boundaries. Because if you go back a bit, right, and this is the statement I'm picking on, the whole myth that women can do it all, women can have it all, we've had it pushed out for years, right? And I've always pushed back on it because it's just, it's just intellectually impossible. And here's a big thing I find interesting about the women have it all statement. There's no boundaries to it. And I like what you said there. I think one of the things I love about young people today is they're very good at saying no. They're very good at saying, hey, I don't want to go here. I want to go here. Hey, that's not my lane. This is my lane. This is what I focus on. Because you're right. Our generation was very much, you got to do it all. I like the new generation and that, you know what, I'm not interested in all this stuff. This is what I want to do, and this is my focus. And I think the new generation has really uncovered the secret to the resilience there. Very much.
I totally agree. And, you know, sometimes it gets up my nose the way they can do that, because I can't. I struggle with it, and it's a real learned process. You know what I've found, though, with AI, throwing stuff into AI actually is teaching me so much about boundaries and resilience and if I have a client that's a little bit troublesome, I throw it in there and learn of a way to deal with that. So I can be that good leader and politically, diplomatically deal with that client. So, evolution is a wonderful thing. And that's great. It's so great that who's to know what my children's children are going to be like? They're going to be a different thing again. So it's, I just love how that has happened, and to think of where we've come from centuries ago to where the woman just was the cleaner, the whole ecosystem of the family, the home, not necessarily the leader. They were the ecosystem, but now we're the leaders. And we have that choice to be either.
Oh, I love it. And I just want to reckon we've got a great friend, Lisa, with us. Good to see you, Lisa. And Lisa says this: I agree, and we see lots on social media, and just simply getting on with things is not possible. Generations of the new kind is so much more boundary focused, and I couldn't agree more with that. And just so you know, we've got a very special lady in the waiting room. We've got the amazing Christina Davey with us coming in.
Yay.
We got Christina Davey. I actually spent all day with her. And we were running our meetups yesterday, and Christina Davey went on to party all night in a social meetup. There you go, which is full of. It's no longer sit and debauchery. It's now social networking. It's no longer sit and debauchery. Clear up for Christina Davey. Oh my God, Christina Davey, how are you today?
Hey, Christina.
Hi, Michelle. It's great to see you. Hi, Edward. It's great to see you again. And yes, it's true. We had a fantastic time yesterday at Harbour After Dark, and it did go until late. No sin and debauchery, but definitely lots of friendships were formed. So it was really great to be there.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's great to have you with us, Christina. And for the hot start for you is today's topic is resilience and leadership. And where Michelle Peel and I and the audience were going was, and we originally started talking about the whole myth that women can have it all. The whole, you can work out the gym 3 hours a day, you can be a CEO, you can have a family, you can do everything, right? That sort of myth. And what we were actually talking about, how the generations today are much better at saying no, much better at being more boundary focused. And we're talking about how boundaries are a core part of resilience. I'd love to hear your thoughts on resilience, Christina.
Yes, I agree. I do believe that people are learning to say no, myself included. I do believe that we can do it all, but the way we're going to do it is not necessarily going to be at high standards. But because a person's capacity is a person's capacity, and it will reach a limit at some point. So there's no reason why you can't have a business, a career, be a parent, and have a relationship and go to the gym. But I do believe that you'll have to have a very good structure in order to be able to sustain it all, and to self-lead yourself throughout the day in a way that it's achievable as well, and staying very focused as well. So I don't think that we can't do it all. I do believe it's possible, but it requires a lot of planning and a good structure and some discipline. And again, I think it's important to realize that, well, if I didn't have all these 5-6 areas that I was juggling, I could probably do a lot more in this one area. But because I am juggling with the 5 areas, I might be able to do this much instead of this much. And that's my take on it. And in terms of resilience, I think resilience is equally, it's equal to our expectations. Like if we have really high expectations of ourselves, then we're going to beat ourselves up that we haven't quite got there. We're going to be disappointed. We're going to feel like we are failing. And it's going to be a lot harder to navigate something. But having a clear goal and understanding what it takes to get there, and being able to lead ourselves towards it with compassion, with love, I think are important things as well.
That's very well said, and it actually brings me to one of my key talking points that we have today: burnout culture. Burnout culture. Michelle, we know a lot about burnout culture. What's your take on burnout culture?
Oh, yes. My take out on that is it's a thing, absolutely a thing, and recognizing it is a big thing before it gets too far down the track. I find with myself, wearing all the hats I do, there comes a time where the tears start happening, and then I've just got to stop. I've just got to pull the pin, and everything stops, because I know, okay, it's time to rest. You've got to, your body's saying enough's enough. Like, I don't cry really ridiculously, but tears come out of my eyes, and it's just like a bloody river. And I think, oh heck, I think my body's had enough. I need to have a bit of a rest. So it's quite crazy how it happens, but burnout is absolutely a thing. And I look, for those, I have got my husband, he's experienced that, and fatigue is a horrible thing, to have experience. It can hang around for a long time if you're not on top of it. Yeah.
Ooh, and Christina?
I think one thing that I'm observing with my clients, and I didn't even know I was doing, in my younger years, is that we stop listening to our body. We are focusing so much on mindset. You listen to a video on YouTube and it tells me, go grind, you can do it.
Hustle. And
you're like, yeah, absolutely. And I remember role modeling as well, a mentor of mine who, I admire very much, and he's able to achieve a lot and do so many hours and get done so much. And I was trying to keep up with, and I was role modeling that, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. If he can do it, I can do it, and I'm gonna push myself, and I'm gonna get it done. And to get it done, I had to disconnect from my body, to not really acknowledge what my body was telling me. My body was telling me, hey, knock knock, you need more sleep. Hey, knock knock, you need some pauses in between, hey, you gotta sit down, enjoy a meal, and be present with it, and all sort of different things that I was not necessarily listening to. And then I will end up being sick for a week and being out of action completely. So for me, it was at that stage about 6 years ago when I realized that I have to have a relationship, and a good relationship with my body, in terms of what's my body telling me today, and how can I accommodate my list of things to do, and also what my body's telling me. Where's the balance in between, right?
So
and
true.
Again, it comes down to being self-led. If I'm pushing, yesterday was a very long day for me, from early in the morning until really late, talking with a lot of people, connecting with a lot of people. And today I have a bit of work, but after that, I'm just going to be with myself, and I'm just going to give myself some me time to literally recover. Right? So even if we push at one given time or for a few days, then do we actually schedule some time to be able to, because that's helping us be more resilient. Otherwise, accumulating pressure of wanting to do things all the time, it's going to kill our resilience. We're not going to be able to be navigating everything simply because it's just going to add up too much. And under pressure, everybody's going to just become dysregulated. And I think, talking about resilience, what's important is to know that we all have the capacity to become dysregulated given the right circumstances, and having the ability to know how to change state. It's important as well, because just because we are angry right now, or upset, or disappointed, or we feel like we have failed, we don't have to stay with that emotion for a whole week or a whole day. We have the ability to change state, but not everybody knows how to do it. So once you learn that, you can do certain and take certain steps to change a state, and increase your resilience to go through difficulties in life as well.
Oh, love it, Christina. What do you think, Michelle? Oh, Michelle, hit that unmute key. Hit that unmute key, Michelle.
Sorry, I knocked it. I totally agree. I hear what Christine is saying. It's listening to your body, and loving yourself makes such a big difference. If you don't, and I find myself I'm on all the time, on, but taking that pause is so important and so valuable. I hear what you're saying about, doing a little bit in the morning of work today and then having that time out and just watch a movie, or that's what I do. Watching a movie, I shut off, and it's so good for my soul. It just makes me turn off from everything. That's my go-to, or a walk, or, some exercise and that. But 100%, you've got to listen to your body. You really do.
Yeah. And on that note, actually, and this brings up a key talking point and something I want to dive deep on, is how there's that, the whole women can have it all thing. That whole, you're not allowed to rest. You got to keep at it. You got to keep pushing through. It was interesting because I got really tired last night. About 9 p.m. hit last night. I did a post on LinkedIn and I was done for the day. I just lied in bed and watched crap on YouTube, and it felt great, right? And I think that when I talk to a lot of very ambitious women, a lot of ambitious, and guys too, but also ambitious women, I find there's this culture of you're not allowed to show weakness. You're not allowed to rest. You have to be tough all the time. So we had this interesting one last night, actually. Not mentioning it who it is, but Christine knows I'm talking about. We met this very cool lady last night who was very stressed. She just ended a bad relationship, and she was projecting a lot. She was very much saying, she was very in your face, talking about relationships, asking all these weird questions about men. And it was quite a fun, quite a cool lady, quite a fun conversation, actually. And the biggest vibe I got from her is she struck me as a great lady who has weak boundaries, and this guy just trampled her boundaries and just totally wore her out, which is why she was sort of, going a little bit crazy, which I don't blame her for. So the actual question I want to pose to each of you powerful ladies and to our audience, let us know. How can we strengthen our boundaries? How can we better say hello? How can we stop ourselves getting pulled off track by toxic, crappy people?
Go ahead, Michelle.
No, you go for it. You're the expert.
Yes,
you're both experts.
Yeah, we are.
You're making a great point. I think a lot of people are talking about they talk about their values, they talk about boundaries, but they don't really know how to apply it. And I was one of them. I'll talk about boundaries, but I wouldn't really know what that is. And it was interesting because I'm just going to go on a bit of a tangent, just a short one. Values as well, but it's related. Values. I was talking to someone else yesterday at your meeting about values, and he was telling me, this is my list with things, my criteria.
Yes, that guy was hilarious. That guy was over the top hilarious.
Absolutely a lovely person. And we're going through his list, and he was talking about values, someone that is has similar core values. And a lot of people don't really understand their values at a deeper level. They are only surface level. And the problem with that is that if you, for example, value growth, why is that important to you? If you value connection, why is that important to you? If you value family, why is that important to you? What needs to happen in order to experience that value? How do you even know? How do you measure that you experience that value? It's important as well, because when you don't know, you don't know how to communicate with another person and be specific in a way that they can understand what you are about and what's important to you. So going back to boundaries now, for example, if somebody values me time, or family, let's just say somebody values family time and somebody values me time, They're two different values, right? And then the person that values family time is going to push to, hey, let's just go spend more time together, do things together. And this other person is going to be like, no, I just want to be by myself. Like, leave me alone, go away. I don't need to do this. And then the person that wants family time is like, but this is how we love each other. This is how we have a better family. Let's just go do stuff. And they're like, there's nothing wrong about this. This is nice. And they don't even realize they're crossing the other person's boundaries, that it's values me time. And they add pressure on the other person. And this person is like, hey, just go away, F off. Or there's no explanation. There's no explanation about why they're saying no. So this person now gets hurt, and he's like, oh my God, like, this is the end. This is horrible.
Yeah, you don't love me. You hate the family.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, which one is wrong? Nobody's wrong, right? But this person doesn't understand her values and doesn't know how to explain in a way that is bridging the gap, right? If this person will be like, look, I love family time, and I also love some time to myself. This is how I recharge. This is how I, get myself back on track. So, I'm going to take some 3 hours, and then after that, I'm going to come out and we can do something together, right? Then nobody needs to cross boundaries, and everybody can be respectful, and there's a different kind of understanding. But I think that a lot of people don't have that depth of understanding. Okay, yes, I'm saying no now, but can we do this later? Okay. Or I'm saying now no because I value this over this, and I don't want to do something that I'm not enjoying, and I need you to respect that, right? So we don't always understand boundaries and why we need them, and how to explain them to someone else in a way that's bridging the gap. It's not actually creating more conflict. So somebody that's a people pleaser, you ask them to have boundaries, it's nearly impossible because they need to people please in order to survive, because for them maybe connection is safety. For them, being part of a family means I'm safe, I'm okay, I'm accepted, I belong. And if you ask them to have boundaries, that's in conflict with I hope I'm not going too deep in this. It's in conflict with.
We're here to go deep, not just give superficial slogans. So there we go.
So having boundaries and saying no to someone, if you're a people pleaser and you feel like, well, I have to give, I have to be there for this person because otherwise I'm not going to belong, or I'm not going to be a good friend, or it makes it impossible to have boundaries. So that's why I tell everyone, like where are you? Where do you want to get? Tell me where you are at. What are your experience? What your problem is? And tell me what you want to experience, and then I'll take you there. Because I know exactly, I'm going to look at to see how you're creating the problem, and then what will take for you to get there and feel aligned with getting there and feel met in a relationship. But if we just complain, I'm teaching my son this, if we just complain about people or a situation, it doesn't get us anywhere.
No.
Complaining or bashing men or bashing women is not going to get us in a relationship. Understanding why we are not there is what's going to help us be in one.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. Michelle Peel, what's on your powerful mind?
Oh, wow. I really, just listening to Christina there, I think that boundaries and values are very similar. And respect, I think they all be intertwined with each other. But, the way I'm learning I'm a people pleaser. I'm absolutely a people pleaser and love to keep everybody happy. That's what I do. But I'm learning, and I'm a fixer. I like to help people, and that is a part of my people pleasing method. And But I'm learning that I have to realize, are these people who are in my world serving me any longer?
Mm.
And that's where my
Ooh.
boundaries are
Oh,
coming through. Yeah.
oh, I love that topic because that's on my list. And that brings me to the next question. How do we, and we'll start with Michelle Peel, then we'll go to Christina. How do we manage and deal with those people that are no longer serving us?
How do we manage them? Great question. Yeah, well, it's diplomatically. I find myself, I distance myself from those people. I not lay down, but explain where the situation's at, or bring to their attention, this is how I'm feeling. I don't know how to explain it really, because it's not that I'm rude to people. It's just that I distance myself. That's how I find myself dealing with situations. Yeah.
It's funny you say that.
It's
actually, and it's funny you say that. And we've had as you know, Christina, Dave, and I, we run a lot of meetup events, and we deal with toxic people all the time, and forever. And my advice to anyone is never ever run a meetup group, because once you do, you can't stop, and when you do, you always have to deal with toxic people. And it's funny. When I talk to a lot of women, when I understand any woman, be it, old, young, married, single, whatever, straight or not, right? A lot of the trouble that women have is due to someone else. It's almost all, I would say 90%, when I talk to women, 90% of the time, their problems are due to someone else and not having boundaries. Right? All the time, right? In fact, actually, this has been a common problem in our meetup. I've been running meetups for the last decade. Love running meetups, which is great. And one of the biggest things, and I'll talk more men here, so talking women's empowerment here, but the biggest problem, the biggest reason why we kick men of our meetups is they're too sleazy over women. They're too familiar. They just meet a woman and put all their hands over them, or they're very sexual and creepy. And that's the one reason we kick men out of our meetups. Now, with that said, I want to bounce over to Christina Davey. How do we deal with toxic people? How do we create that distance? How do we say no? How do we stop these people from ruining our day? And how do we build our resilience, of course?
Great topic, Edward, and good point. I really believe that it's important to understand our standards. We talked about boundaries, and now standards are guidelines for what we want to experience, what's okay. So if boundaries are representing a no, this is not what I want. Standards are, this is what I want, this is a yes. And not everybody that we meet, and especially when we have a community, it's always a mixed bag. Like when you run a community of people, they have a common interest that brings them together, but they are a mixed bag, right? Everybody has different flavor. And it's not always going to gel with what the community is. So I think I'm going to talk at community level, and then I'm going to talk at individual level. I think in a community, to be part of a community, you have to respect the standards, the rules of the community. You got to speak a certain way. You got to behave a certain way, because there are certain standards that, and I hope that every community has certain standards, right? Because there are communities that are just like, whatever. But when you have certain standards for a community, that means everybody has to adhere to the standards. And if they're not, they can no longer be part of the community.
Yeah.
Right? So crossing boundaries in a community, now I'll go to individual level. Let's just say a man and a woman is part of a community, and the woman is crossing the man's boundaries. Mm-hmm. Now, the man needs to have the ability to say, hey, this is not okay with me, all right? You cannot talk to me like this. This is disrespectful. And then the woman needs to respect that, apologize, own it, apologize, try to understand, look, I wasn't aware, I'm sorry, I totally get that. When that doesn't happen, then it goes to the next level, right? And now you just got to do something about it. Like, I think not doing anything about it is the worst thing that you can do. And an individual, if it's it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, if you're not understanding, these are my standards, and this person has talked to me below my standards, this person touched me in inappropriate way, because there are people that are okay with, there are women who are okay to be touched, there are women who are okay with being spoken a certain way, and then it's a bit harder for men to navigate what's okay and what's not, especially on online dating. My favorite subject, online dating apps, right? You get people talking to you in all sort of different ways because, well, some women accept it and some don't, right? And that's the problem, because now a man is going to try and he's going to say something that's not appropriate. But what am I going to do as a woman? Am I going to let it slide, or am I going to bring it up and be like, hey, you can't talk to me this way?
Yeah.
And without doing something about it, if we are a people pleaser, and we are afraid that we're losing the connection, or we don't want conflict, then we're going to shut up. We're not going to say anything. And the other person is going to have no awareness, and they're going to continue to do that. And there will be also no way of changing it. So not speaking up, I think it's important. So having standards is important. Speaking up for yourself, it's important. And really treat yourself with self-respect, because when you treat yourself with self-respect, what others are doing, it becomes, if it's not according to your standard, then you have the contrast and you can bring it up and say, hey, this is not okay. And if you're part of a community, you go to the leader and you are telling, and you stand up for yourself again in speaking up and say, hey, this person spoke to me disrespectful. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And you can tell them, hey, these are our standards. I just want to make sure that you are understanding. These are the standards. You can't talk this way. You can't touch a woman this way, or whatever. And then you give them another chance, or you don't. Some people do, some people don't. In my community, I did give another chance to people, and I brought it up because I think it's important to tell them to bring it to their conscious awareness, because they're not even aware sometimes. They don't even know. If they are outside in a different community and it's accepted in that community, and they come here in this community and this is here is not okay, they don't even know it's not okay. They think it's, what have I done wrong? Well, you have done something wrong according to our standards over here. So I really believe standards are very important, and respecting them.
And Michelle Peel, I was just going to say, the reason why Michelle Peel and I have had this chat as well about standards and how people treat you. Michelle Peel, I can see you thinking overtime. I want you to react to what Christina's saying. I see some severe thought going on.
Yeah, look, standards are a big thing, but if the standards aren't outlined from the get-go, they're never going to know, with communities especially. So I think that, boundaries need to be highlighted in that community of what's expected, what's okay, what's not okay. But if it's not put out there, you're going to get that happening all the time. People are going across the line not knowingly, like you said, Chris, the standards are not visible or not known until they experience a situation, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But Ed, what I was thinking about, Ed, was when you said about talking to different people, and the majority of them are women that come and say it's always someone else. It's always someone else that's the problem. Generally, it's themselves. I hear this all
the time. Yeah.
Generally, it's themselves. Because generally, from my learning phases I've had with personal development and all of that, it's a reflection of yourself is what the problem is, generally. And if you're not working on yourself, you're going to continually come up with that problem.
I agree, and I love what Charles is making. Thank you, Charles, for all your input. His comments are very welcome, and I really appreciate them. I just want to make it clear that while I picked an example, and I picked an example about the men, it can happen with women. The one person that I had to kick out of my community actually was a woman. She's banned for life at the moment.
Very good. Yeah. I'm not going to
Uh,
say, but I know who it is. So there you go. I'm not going to say, but I know exactly who it is.
It's one person, that really crossed boundaries, and she was not at the standards. I brought it up with her. I gave her a chance. I gave her a second chance. I said, look, this is what we're here for. This is how we behave. All right. And if it's not okay with you, you're welcome to not come anymore. However, these are the standards, these are the guidelines. Yeah. And then one day she just show up, right, in a way that, and I'm not going to go in details, she show up in a way that was just not acceptable. And I had people coming to me and say, and I noticed as well. And then I said, look, I just need you to leave. You're no longer welcome. And I had to call security to bring her over. And that was it. So it goes both ways, not just one way.
Totally. I find it amazing actually, because this is a funny one, because yesterday was a very funny day of meetup. So I got a few really good leads yesterday. So business wise, I did well, but a lot of my conversations yesterday all was about dating, right? It was young people, old people, men and women talking about dating in our meetup. Lassie and I were having a lot of dating conversations that were just hilarious, right? And and it's an interesting one, because I find it quite amusing in that a lot of people, and I've done this, so I've been guilty of this historically as well. And Michelle Peel said this before, right? And Charles Caldwell's going there. If you look at Charles Caldwell's comments, a lot of people, and women and men, we'll talk women here, so women's empowerment, will blame the other side for something that they're not doing. So, for example, if you've got weak boundaries and someone walks over your boundaries and then you get upset by it, the question is, who's at fault, right? And a lot of people will say, it's the other side at fault. Both can be true. Both sides can be at fault. The other side can be at fault for being disrespectful, and you can also be at fault for not having strong boundaries. That was interesting. Great lady we spoke to last night. So I'm not going to mention who it is, but this great lady, if you are watching, she's very awesome. But she had this history of dating beta guys, like real weak soy boys. Do you guys know what I mean by that when I say beta soy boys? Like basically weak men, right? Weak men. And it drove her nuts that she's quite a strong woman dating all these weak men. And she just had enough. She couldn't take it anymore. And she was when we first started speaking to her, she was kind of blaming men. And then I started blaming her, and I said to her nicely, I said, look, why are you dating weak men? Pointing at Lassie was next to me. I don't date weak women, right? Why are you dating weak men? And the moment I asked that question, it totally changed the whole conversation. So my question to both of you, we'll start with Michelle, is how can we as women, I'm going to be a woman, I identify as a woman for the moment, right? I identify as a woman right now. How can we as women establish, seriously, how can women build stronger boundaries? We'll start with you, Michelle.
Oh, great question. How can women build stronger boundaries? Yeah. Believing in themselves, I think, is a big thing. Believing in yourself creates depth in what you believe in, and understanding what your boundaries are, what your likes, your dislikes are. If you believe in yourself, I think it makes a lot more sense of what you like and what you don't like.
And I used to be a people pleaser, so I could say years ago when I was in my early 20s, I was quite the people pleaser. I remember getting out of that. If we are trapped by people pleasing, which I have been before, how do we break out of the poisonous pattern of being a people pleaser? Michelle?
Yeah, it's a fantastic word. It's 2 letters, and it's called no. Saying no.
Yeah,
say no more.
Yeah.
No. I get reminded about that a lot with my son. Reminds me, Mum, there's an amazing word you can actually use for this client. No.
I like your son. Oh, are you talking Grant? Are you
I
talking
am
Grant?
talking Grant, yes.
Oh, I
I'm
love
talking
Grant. Grant's a cool guy. There you
He's a
go.
cool dude, yeah. But he calls me out on it because I'm continually wanting to keep the client happy or do the right thing by the client. Because I've always been, with all my businesses I've had, the customer's always right in my eyes, and I make sure that. But there comes a time where they're not always right. No,
They're very not
and
right.
they're very not right. And through my learning phases I've had, I'm learning that and saying no is actually okay. And that's a big part of getting out of that people pleaser zone. Using the word no is what I'd suggest.
Oh, I love it. Now we can bounce over to Christina. What do you think? I can see Christina. Christina's about to punch her PC and she's about to rip down that painting around her and throw. I can see Christina about to go, she's going to go Romanian on us. Go for it.
I can talk about this until the cows come home.
Go. The cow's coming
Again,
home. Tell us.
Again, to have boundaries, you have to have standards, because if you don't have standards and you're not clear on your standards, you don't have the contrast of what's okay and what's not okay. And being clear on standards is very hard when you don't have good role models and you're not surrendered by people who have similar standards as you. Because if you have different standards than the people around you, what happens is unconsciously we are lowering our standards or what's the word? Lifting them up, right? Raising them. Thank you, Michelle. Raising our standards, because we want to fit in. Because the need to belong is very strong. It's in our being,
DNA.
right? Because this is how we survive, by belonging, right? And we will raise or lower our standards based on of who we come in contact on everyday basis. That's why it's so important to choose the right person that has similar standards as you, because if you don't, your partner is one of the person that you spend the most amount of time with, right? In your personal life. So, and if you're like me, I used to work with my ex-husband, so we were like literally 20 hours a day together. So if we didn't have similar standards, then it would be easy to you just constantly like going friction. So if you have those standards and you're surrounded by by people that have the same standards, it becomes easier to say no because the contrast is more evident. But when we don't have clarity around that, it makes it very hard. And if you answer your question about people pleasing, I think you really need to go and look underneath. I call it look underneath the boot. Like what's there that's causing you to be a people pleaser? What is it that you believe about yourself? What is it that you believe about others? That's causing you to not be able to say no. And usually it will be something around self-worth, or I need to be there for everyone because I'm a kind person. If you have a limiting belief that I'm a kind person, and you have the identity, I'm a caring and kind person, right? You're going to put everybody else above your needs because you want to experience that identity. You are in the frames, you work within the frames of I'm a kind and caring person, so I have to help. So then everybody that needs something, you're going to go and put them first. And you're going to be like, it's okay. I can be resilient. I can just say no to me and say yes to them. And we get into a habit of saying yes to others, no to ourselves, because we are a kind and caring person. We are under the influence of our identity. So our identity is influencing how we show up and how we are interacting with others, and it's influencing the relationship with ourselves, because I could be someone that has, you know, I don't know, can be very successful in many things, but be a people pleaser because I have the identity of being a kind and caring person. And that means I got to help everybody. And then I'm going to burn down and I'm just going to, get sick. And my mom is an example of this. My mom has been helping people all her life, put her husband over above and, kids, and nobody was pouring into her because we are kids. We didn't really know any better, any different.
The kids.
And we were raised to just receive.
Yeah.
We were not raised to give because my mom was just pouring into us. Yeah. And then when she was asking us to do stuff, it was like, why are you forcing me to do this? Why are you?
Yeah.
And it was not forcing. It was like, she was like, oh, hey, I need help too. I need some support here. Right. And Dad was not giving it. And we're not giving it. So then she was carrying the whole responsibility of the house on her shoulders. And she got resentful. So eventually, if we don't take care of our own needs, then we become resentful. We isolate, we shut down, we withdraw, and everybody's relationship, our relationship with everybody, including ourselves, deteriorates because when we continuously put others first and we're not getting anything and we're not giving time to ourselves and we're not doing stuff that makes us happy as well, then we end up resenting and hating ourselves because we are the ones that can't help it but put others first all the time, and we get angry at ourselves, and therefore then we project our anger on someone else.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they haven't done anything really.
But we're resilient. We can do it all. Yeah. We're resilient. We can do that.
Yeah. We're strong, independent women, right? Yeah. Stunning and brave. We're stunning and brave. There you go.
Yeah. Going back to the leadership, I think, look, we need to be able to lead ourselves, in order to lead others, we need to lead ourselves. And in order to lead ourselves, we need to have a good connection with ourselves. And to have a good connection with ourselves, we need to understand why are we doing what we're doing? What are our values? And are these values still aligned with my goals and what I want to experience in life? Because I can value being caring and kind, but if I put that above loving myself, I'm going to have I'm probably going to have a lot of friends, but a really shitty quality of life.
Yeah.
Oh. Now I can see Michelle Peel thinking a lot of brainwaves have passed through Michelle Peel's mind. What are some of your brainwaves, Michelle?
Well, you just talked about my whole life.
There you go.
And I was agreeing with everything she was saying. I'm thinking I should just be not part of this.
Michelle's feeling very uncomfortable and exposed right now. Tell us how uncomfortable you are, Michelle. We'd love to hear it. Only a few dozen people will see this.
Thanks, Ed, reminding me that. Look, you know what? I'm sure I'm not alone here. There are hundreds and thousands of us all. I've grown up with a mum who, again, Christina, ran the house, did everything. I it's only as in my later years I'm now realizing just what mum did, and I'm guessing why I'm like I am is because of her. She did everything. She pleased everybody. She made sure everybody was good, and had everything done for them. And you really hit the nail on the head with what you said, Christina, about she just did everything. And when we asked her when she asked us to do something, we went, why are you asking me to do it? I don't do that kind of stuff. Like, I'm thinking, that is my life. I'm thinking, my goodness me, I need to, I'm really learning a lot here. This is really good coaching for my benefit. And I'm sure there's others out there that are experiencing the same thing. For, not putting myself, I do put myself first in many areas, but I do also do a lot for everybody. And it was just hitting a few raw nerves with me, or not raw, but realizations. Yeah, it's cool. Really good. Thanks.
I really appreciate your vulnerability, Michelle. I think as leaders, to be good leaders, we need to learn how to be vulnerable as well.
Yeah,
Because this
I think
is how we
owning
inspire-
it.
Yeah,
Owning
this is
it.
how we inspire others. Yes.
Exactly.
absolutely.
And that is a big part of, sorry to talk over you, but I'm really passionate about people owning a situation. I really feel if more people owned the situation and took charge as a leader, that resilience, it just evolves.
I agree.
Yep.
And I agree. And that's why yesterday, I wish I had more time to talk to the lady that we were mentioning, but I wanted to tell her that while we're blaming others, we can't change anything. Everything is changing when we change ourselves, like relationships, life experience. We can't change women. We can't change men that we are in a relationship with. They need to decide for themselves, right? We already know that. But we do know that when we change ourselves, when we become clear on what we accept and what we don't accept, and we stop projecting that men are this way, women are this way, right? Because Charles was making such a great point. I want to go back to his comments, because he said some really cool stuff in there. He said that what's happening now is women are becoming strong to not be weak and to have boundaries. But what happens is they become also very hard. Yeah.
It was very good what he said. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Charles
very
is
hard.
very based.
Yeah, and Charles was saying that, look, single men avoid initiating interaction with women out of fear. This hesitation largely stems from concerns about making women uncomfortable, the fear of rejection, or the anxiety of being labeled as creepy.
Yeah.
And he's making a good point in there, because, look, you can have standards without being rude. You can you can say no without decapitating someone.
Yeah.
Or castrating someone, as I call it, right?
Yeah.
Like you can say no and be chill about it, like, hey, no, I'm not going to do this, or this is not okay. Like, as a single woman who is dating herself now, and I'm on online dating apps, because I want to lead by example. And I do believe that online dating has a lot of challenges, and it's not for everyone, right? But I do believe it's still a great tool. And there are some men that lead with chemistry, first. And I don't take it personal, because it's not about me. If they start talking in a way that's not appropriate to me, I just redirect them.
Yeah.
I'm just displaying my standards. Hey, is it okay? Like, this is too soon for me. Is it okay to get to know each other before we discuss this? And some of them, they just drop. And some of them are recalibrating, because they understand, okay, this woman has certain standards. I'm not going to talk that way. And some of them don't get it. And then they get blocked. Right?
There you go.
Respect, Christina. Do you think it's respect for you? Like, I mean, I don't know. Just listening to what you're saying, I think if they don't respect themselves, they're not going to respect you. And if they learn to respect you from the get-go, I think it's got to. That's great.
Respect means something different for everyone. Amazingly enough, you'll think that respect it's. And I had a conversation with someone yesterday about respect. Actually, very interesting. And he was saying that he thinks that respect is more important for men than for women. Women are more loving rather than focusing. They want more love rather than respect, or something between those lines. I'm not going to go into too much into that, but and I think in men's world, there's a hierarchy. We don't, as women, we don't see things as a hierarchy, but men are measuring each other all the time. Is that correct?
That's true.
right?
That is true. I certify
it's
that on
it's
behalf of all men. I certify that.
it's in the DNA, right? Like they just
Yeah.
constantly, where is he placed? Where is he? Like what's it's how they keep safe, not safe, but it's just the
It's all
order.
actual. It's all evolutionary biology and all scientifically documented. It's not. So it's interesting, just jumping in very quickly. So I've been getting into evolutionary biology lately, which is the science of the evolution of humanity, right? And both men and women, according to evolutionary biology, have evolved very differently, right? And so again, not all men and women are the same, and there are variances, but men broadly have groups of similarities and women have groups of similarities. Without sounding too much like Jordan Peterson, who I was watching last night and getting right into, right? Like, it's men see that men have a hierarchy, men have priorities, right? Men are naturally competitive, right? And women generally have weaker boundaries and are more loving and considerate. And I think one of the interesting things is that when with the emancipation of women and women becoming stronger and independent, which is great, one of the downsides is men may not approach them as much. Men won't be into them as much. Dating becomes a bit of a problem. And what I found interesting about this lady last night, who I quite liked, at the start of the conversation, she was blaming men. At the end of the conversation, she was blaming herself for dating weak men. Right? I was blaming her. I said, look, I like you and you're cool. I do like her, by the way. But you should stop dating weak men. And the moment I said that, you remember, Christina, her whole demeanor just changed. That she was like, yeah, I got to stop dating the soy boys. Yeah, don't date soy boys.
and this applies to business as well, right? I don't want to kind of take over with dating because of what I'm doing, but in business it's the same
directly
thing.
Applies to business. Same thing. Makes no difference.
I think and respect is you're going to experience more respect based on your capacity of tolerating, like hold on, let me reorganize my thoughts. So you won't have respect, you only won't experience respect if you tolerate a lot of bad behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
So your capacity of, if you are someone that's very understanding and tolerates a lot of bad behavior, you're going to experience a lot less respect.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to really, if respect is important to you, you got to understand, like a lot of people talk about respect in dating or business, but what does really respect mean to you? Because in some households, for example, you can grow up, I think Tony Robbins was talking about this. He was saying like, hey, in my household, when I grew up, talking loud, it was very common. We're just talking on top of each other, shouting, and that was the normal that was the standard. And then he's meeting this woman, his wife now, Sage, and in her house where she grew up, nobody was talking loud. People were very, grounded, chilled, they were talking normal. So they got together and Tony's trying to make a point and he's like, wah, 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 and he's a big man, right? Really tall, big man. Overwhelmed, right? And then she goes, like, she shuts down and he's like, what's going on with you? Like, why are you like this? He's not even understanding. And she's like, well, you just shout and speak loud and it's disrespectful. And he's like, no, this is how we talk. Like, this is normal, right?
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
What was normal for him, for her. And then she was dealing with it in a way that she could, manage. And we don't understand that, like she had to have the ability to explain to him, but this is disrespectful to me, right? I can't remember all the details. But anyway, let's just embellishing the story a little bit. But you need to be able to tell a person, like, hey, this is disrespectful. I'm not going to accept this. And we don't need to just cut them off completely, but we need to communicate our standards first. These are our standards. Are you okay to meet them? And if
Yeah.
they say no, this is not okay, then you go in separate ways. But you gotta, if you don't communicate your standards, people don't know how to treat you. They don't know how to behave, because
No.
what they grow up
Really.
and their role models, like Michelle was saying earlier, you had the role model. I had a similar role model initially, and I remember wanting to spend time with in my marriage, my husband wanted to connect with me by sitting down on the couch and watching TV and holding hands and just relaxing. Go ahead.
Yeah, just on that, I can see Michelle has a chilling thought. I can see you've got a chilling thought,
Sorry,
Michelle.
I was
What is
going
it?
on forever. Go ahead.
That's all right. No, they're really good. I can just see a chilling
No,
thought.
I'm absorbing all of what
Chris.
I'm absorbing what Christine is saying. Like, I totally agree with what she's saying, but my family are quiet, and I get you. I sort of, and then and can sit and say absolutely nothing in the room. Like, it's like you can cut it's like you feel like you can cut the ice with a knife, sort of thing. But no, I was just absorbing everything, and I really wasn't. I was taking it on board, thinking, this is so cool.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to jump in. We do have to finish up shortly.
We
are a bit over time, but I'll let it go because you guys are awesome. Now, what we're going to do in finishing up is we're going to hear closing thoughts from Michelle Peel and Christina Davey, who are amazing ladies. So make sure you connect with Michelle Peel and Christina Davey. They're amazing professionals, all right? Connect with them on LinkedIn. Pardon me, is the best way to do it. And feel free to connect as well. Make sure you smash that like, share, comment. Now, as a closing thought, I'm just going to make 2 quick points that we didn't get around to because the conversation was just too awesome. Number one is we went to Bali recently and it was awesome. And the reason I bring this up is, yes, I'm showing off, which is totally my style. But the other reason why I'm showing off is actually when I was on the trip, I met a lot of men and women, actually more women than men. And I spoke to women of all ages. I spoke to women who were in their early 20s. I spoke to women in their 60s and 70s, women of all ages. And a lot of them were in Bali to actually, and be it they were 20 or 60. A lot of women I met, they were all there for the same reason. They were there just to stop and think. They were there just to chill out and think about their lives. And one sort of closing thought I want to give to all women out there, especially women, is please don't be afraid of spending time by yourself to think things through. Now, if you can go to Bali, great, I highly recommend it. But if you can't, I highly encourage women to spend a bit of time on their own and really think things through. Is your life heading the right way? Are you doing the right things? Because even though I'm not female, I spent quite a bit of time on that Bali trip really thinking through my life, and not so much I'm bad and I'm bad, but where am I going? What do I want to do? What do I want to stop doing? What do I want to start doing? So that's one of my closing thoughts. Now, we do have to finish up, so we're going to hear closing thoughts. Michelle Peel, give us your closing monologue. What do you think, Michelle Peel? Then we'll hear from Christina.
Oh, well, resilience and leadership. You've got to start from within first, and unless you start from within, it just doesn't come naturally. You've got to have it come from within. Yeah. And business and dating, I was fascinated how we spoke about the same thing. You're absolutely right.
Same thing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So thank you. I appreciate being here. It's very good.
Oh, and Michelle Peel, you are amazing. And for those, make sure you connect with Michelle Peel from the Gold Coast, Australia. We love you, Michelle Peel. Love it. And
thank you for having me.
And closing monologue from Christina Davey. What's your closing monologue?
Look, I think that I'm agreeing with Michelle, and it's the same. It's the same thing that I want to say. I think we spend so much time trying to become better leaders, but the breakthrough really comes from when we start to lead ourselves better, because ultimately we can't change anyone else around us, but when we change ourselves, we can lead better, and we become more clear who is aligned and who is not aligned with us. Like, we don't need to worry about keeping people in our life. I think we just need to be clear on what's okay and what's not okay, and be okay with standing up for it and talk about it and owning it, when we make mistakes, do something different next time, and give other people the opportunity to own it too.
Yeah.
And also, you know, change what's not aligned. And if that's not okay that with them, then you can just part ways, and you know, that's it. So as long as we are clear on what's okay and what's not okay, and we communicate to the other people, then we don't need to worry about keeping people in our life or letting them go, because they're just going to fall off, right? Because they're just not, it's just no alignment anymore. So let's worry about, you know, leading ourselves, and then just by being ourselves, we're going to inspire some people, we're going to repel other people. You know,
Authenticity, I think, is the word.
Yeah,
That's it.
they can suck it in my book. There you go. Very well.
And that's it, you know. So let's change ourselves to be able to experience what we want.
Oh,
Exactly.
well said. Well said. Now, I will say a big thank you to Michelle Peel and Christina Davey. Love your work. Now, thank you for watching, and also to connect with Amazing Lassie as well. And we do these Boss Ladies Summit every month, usually the first or second Saturday of the month. So stay tuned for the next one. Now, I just want to say a big thank you, and my closing thoughts are to connect with these ladies. And I'll say to ladies out there, make sure you spend some time by yourself doing your own thing in your own unique way. Mate, I recommend Bali, as I met a lot of women and I got a lot out of it too, which is amazing. So friends, thank you for being so awesome. May you all have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Michelle Peel and Christina Davey. Love you heaps. Stay awesome,
Thank you.
friends, and keep winning.